Imagine wearing a 20-pound dress layered in lace, steel hoops, and petticoats, and then suddenly realizing you have to pee. No stalls, no zippers, no privacy. Just fabric, urgency, and maybe a maid with strong arms. Welcome to the Victorian bathroom struggle, where elegance met a whole lot of awkward. The Victorians loved appearances. Tea at 4, whispered conversations, satin gowns. But behind the elegant curtains, total bathroom chaos. Indoor plumbing? Nope. Flushing toilets? Not even royalty had them early on. So when nature called, people improvised. Fields, alleyways, trees, anywhere would do. If you were fortunate, you had a chamber pot, basically a ceramic bowl with a lid. You'd do your business, close it up, and someone, often a servant or unlucky kid, would toss it into the yard or, yep, out the window. That's why umbrellas weren't just for rain and heels weren't just for fashion. They were defense mechanisms against aerial excretions. Streets in cities like London had raised stepping stones so you could hop over rivers of raw sewage flowing through the gutters. These weren't rare accidents, it was the norm. And the smell? Unholy? The risk of disease? Constant. Cities were basically swimming in their own waste, and no one had figured out how to fix it yet. Chamber pots filled quickly, but there were no plumbing systems, so disposal meant flinging, dumping, or praying for a flood. All of this in the middle of civilized society. Beautiful on the outside, a mess underneath. Enter the garderobe, a medieval toilet built into upper floors hanging over the street. No pipes, no flush, just a hole. You went and gravity took care of the rest. When it was time to dump a chamber pot or relieve oneself, folks leaned out the window and shouted, "Garde l'eau," French for "watch out for the water." Translation, incoming waste, duck. Wealthier households had servants to carry down the jerry, slang for chamber pot, hidden under beds and cabinets or inside elegant chairs. These pots had lids not for modesty but to trap the stench. And once full, lifting that lid was a sensory nightmare. But here's the wild part. During wars like the Napoleonic and English Civil War, the government collected urine. Why? Because it contained ammonia, which helped produce saltpeter, a key ingredient in gunpowder. Yes, your pee helped power muskets. So behind all the Victorian glamour and marble mansions, a hidden world of airborne waste, smelly containers, and pee with explosive potential. Let's talk about the logistics of urinating while wearing what was basically a wearable birdcage made of steel and satin. Victorian women didn't just wear dresses, they wore contraptions, multiple petticoats, corsets laced tighter than a submarine hatch, and of course, the infamous crinoline, a bell-shaped metal frame that gave those skirts their dramatic, puffed-out shape. Great for making an entrance. Absolute hell when nature called. Now here's the shocker. Victorian women's underwear didn't have crotches. No, seriously, most undergarments were split at the bottom, with an open seam running right down the middle. And this wasn't some secret kink, it was a practical design. How else were they supposed to relieve themselves while wrapped in 15 layers of fabric and 8 feet of metal hoop? Imagine the scenario. You're in a social gathering. You feel the urge, so you sneak off to the necessary room, hike up what feels like a fabric circus tent, straddle a chamber pot like a cowboy mounting a tiny porcelain pony, and hope to God your aim is true. Because remember, no one wore underwear with elastic waistbands or buttons. There was no pulling down the pants. You had to navigate the open-air strategy, carefully hovering over your portable ceramic urinal while your corset pressed your lungs into your collarbone. Oh, and corsets? They didn't just squish your waist, they compressed your bladder too, which meant you had to go more often but had less time to react. Some women fainted, trying to hold it in. Others just said, screw it, and wet themselves in public, at formal dances, at church, in front of royalty. Fashion was suffering. Dignity? Optional. But here's the wildest part. Men had it way easier. They could just step outside, find a wall or a tree, and handle business. Cities even had public urinals, called Vespasian, basically open-air pee stations named after Roman Emperor Vespasian, who, fun fact, once taxed urine. Yep, in ancient Rome, pee wasn't waste. It was a resource. Fullers who cleaned togas used urine as detergent. The ammonia in it broke down stains, so they'd soak clothes in pee, stomp on them, rinse, and boom. Clean toga. Vespasian taxed public urinals because the contents were so valuable, and when critics complained, he shrugged, "Money doesn't stink." In Latin, pecunia non olet. Fast forward to medieval Europe, and you've got piss prophets, real people who claimed they could diagnose your health by inspecting your urine. Color, smell, bubbles. If it floated, they had opinions. Some even carried urine color charts, like sommelier menus for bodily fluids. And in the 1600s, people straight up sold their pee to gunpowder makers, tanners, and soap factories. Buckets outside homes with signs, "Urine wanted, 1 farthing a pot." So yeah, if modern recycling seems weird, just remember, people used to sell their pee for cash, for science, and sometime for prophecy. Alright, so picture this. It's the 16th century. You're royalty, wrapped in 5 layers of velvet, and you've just devoured an entire roasted peacock. Now nature calls. Where do you go? If you're Queen Elizabeth I, you might use a portable commode, basically a fancy cushioned chair with a hole in the seat and a chamber pot underneath. Yep, the Tudor throne was quite literally a throne. But here's where things get interesting. Her godson, Sir John Harington, dropped a game changer in 1596, the first flushing toilet. He named it the Ajax, a cheeky pun on a Jakes, slang for toilet. It had a raised cistern, a bowl, and a flush valve. Genius stuff, but no one took it seriously. Harrington was seen more as the royal prankster than a plumbing pioneer, and the world wasn't ready to swap outhouses for innovation just yet. Fast forward to the 1800s, and it's a whole different kind of horror. London was bursting at the seams. 2.5 million people and one very unfortunate river. Human waste flowed straight into the Thames, which also happened to be the city's drinking water. Cue the Great Stink of 1858. It was hot, it was humid, and it smelled like a sewer lit on fire. Parliament had to douse their curtains in vinegar just to keep from gagging. That's when it hit them. Maybe, just maybe, it was time to fix the plumbing. Enter Sir Joseph Bazalgette, the man who quite literally saved London from its own stink. In the mid-1800s, during the aftermath of the Great Stink and multiple cholera outbreaks, Bazalgette designed an ambitious and revolutionary sewer system. Over 1,100 miles of brick-lined tunnels running beneath the city, all engineered to redirect waste away from the River Thames. It wasn't just a fix, it was an overhaul of how a modern city could function. His design included massive interceptor sewers, pumping stations, and outflow points far from urban areas. The result? A dramatic drop in disease, cleaner water, and a turning point in public health. For the first time, London had a proper flush system, and toilets transformed from quirky luxuries into absolute urban necessities. Meanwhile, a plumber named Thomas Crapper, yes, that's his real name, helped upgrade the tech. He didn't invent the toilet, but he did perfect the ballcock valve, making flushing smoother and more reliable. His name became so tied to the loo that crap entered slang, even though the word existed long before him. By the late 1800s, flush toilets symbolized progress. No more chamber pots flying out of windows. Cleanliness was finally trending. But here's the twist. Building toilets is one thing. Keeping waste out of your water is another. Diseases like cholera and dysentery were still wiping people out. Then came Dr. Jon Snow, not the Game of Thrones guy, who traced a deadly 1854 outbreak to a single water pump. He removed the handle, the outbreak stopped, and modern epidemiology was born. Sanitation became science. But even today, 3.5 billion people still lack safe sanitation. And diarrheal diseases kill over 500,000 children yearly. Let's start with the Western world. In most of Europe, the US, Canada, and much of South America, the sit-down toilet reigns supreme. It's the modern porcelain throne, literally. But across the rest of the planet, places like much of Asia, the Middle East, and parts of Africa, over 4.5 billion people are Team Squat Toilet. No seat, no lid, no throne. just a ceramic or concrete platform with a hole in the middle and foot grips on either side. It's a totally different vibe, more primal, more natural, and, according to some researchers, even healthier. And here's where it gets spicy. Science actually backs the squat. But it's not just about biology, it's also about culture, class, and tradition. In Japan, high-tech sit toilets come with bidet jets, heated seats, and ambient music. They're practically spaceships. But in rural India or Indonesia, families might still use squat latrines because they're easier to clean, more hygienic, and cost way less. There's also a matter of modesty and trust. Many public squat toilets don't even have doors. You just learn to handle your business fast and with dignity. So, squat or sit? Turns out neither is right or wrong. And yes, both sides think the other is doing it completely wrong. You think the East Coast versus West Coast rap beef was intense? Nah, try squat toilets versus sitting toilets. This is the real culture war. Let's talk about toilet habits, because how we clean our behinds is more divided than pineapple on pizza. In the West, toilet paper is king. In most of Asia, the Middle East, and parts of Europe, water wins. From Japanese bidets with heated seats and automatic sprays to South Asian Lotus and Southeast Asia's bum guns, the rest of the world prefers a rinse over a rub. Meanwhile, smart toilets are leveling up. In Japan, your toilet might greet you, lift its lid, warm your seat, clean you front and back, and dry you, hands-free. These aren't toilets, they're hygiene robots. So here's the bottom line. Team Wash is cleaner, and smart toilets are here to stay. Let's settle this in the comments. Are you a wiper, washer, or full-blown smart toilet convert? If this blew your mind just a little, smash that like button and subscribe for more odd facts you never knew you needed.